Hey, welcome back in, guys. Brandon with Taylorsfiresmoke Cooking. Appreciate you all being with me today. Today, we're going to make one of my favorite dishes. This is something that you could definitely make for Christmas with it just being right around the corner and you're tired of your traditional ham or turkey and things of that nature. You can make this. Today, we are going to make a braised short rib. We're going to make my version of braised short ribs. It's a delicious dish. It's not too hard to make, and like I said, this tastes amazing. So let's go ahead and get into these ingredients, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the stove. So stay right there. All right, guys. So quite naturally, the star of the show are our short ribs here. These are boneless short ribs. I wound up ordering a case of short ribs, and they wound up being boneless. Traditionally, I would rather have bone-in short ribs, but just imagine this stack of short ribs together like this with 3 bones sitting underneath them. Well, that's your short ribs. But these are beautifully marbled short ribs. These are Angus short ribs that I got. So we're going to use these, and these are traditionally braised short ribs, but I would prefer the ones with bone in them. We have some onion, green pepper. I have some mini sweet peppers that I have chopped up for flavor and color, and then we have some celery here. We're also going to be using a bay leaf, some baby carrots, or you can use bigger carrots that's chopped up if you like. Minced garlic. I'm going to use this Kinder's, the blend seasoning. And I have some fire roasted tomatoes here. We're going to also use a little beef broth for our braising liquid. And that's basically it. I'll probably use some a little bit more onion and garlic powder and black pepper quite naturally along the way. But it's basically very, very simple ingredients, but huge flavor. And like I said, it'll be a hit at your Christmas dinner. So let's go ahead and get to the stove and get everything ready. All right, guys, so what I want to do with these short ribs, all I want to do is just cut them in half. It's going to make it easier to get flavor all the way around them, and then when we brown them as well. So I just want to cut them in half, line them up. I said, if you're anything like my family, we do the ham and the turkey and stuff like that on Thanksgiving, but Christmas is pretty much anything goes. We like to have a good meal, but I wouldn't say it would be considered traditional. We have fish, we might have spaghetti, we might have chuck roast and potatoes, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, this is also an excellent option if you're sick of the traditional ham and turkey and things of that nature. So we're just going to season them liberally. Get them seasoned on every side. We're going to try to sear a lot of this flavor in to our short ribs, but you also got to remember once we put that liquid on them, a lot of this stuff is going to fall off. So just go real heavy. All right, we've got everything seasoned up. You can see how liberal we got it, but I also want you to see just how that seasoning is. Good stuff. Like I said, if you can find it, use it. So we've got these. We're just going to let them sit just for a few minutes while we go ahead and get our Dutch oven heated up, and we do a little bit of maintenance here, get all cleaned up. And as soon as I am done, we'll be at the stove and we'll get cooking. See you in just a second. All right, guys, we got our Dutch oven heated up. We're going to drop a little olive oil in there, and we're just going to place those short ribs down and try to get them brown all sides. So all 6 sides, or 5 sides, 6 sides, 7 sides, you know, all the sides. We're going to get them browned up. Once you get them in there, you don't want to be fiddling with them. Just let them cook. We're not trying to cook them all the way through, though. We're just trying to get them browned up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, brown all the short ribs up. When that's done, then we'll move on to the next step. So stay tuned, you guys. All right, guys, we've got our short ribs all seared off. So we're just going to remove the last of them from our Dutch oven here. And what we're going to do, we're going to begin to add in all of our veggies and our liquids. Now what you want is to scrape the bottom of your pot. You want to keep all of that goodness in there. We understand that that is flavor, and that's some of the seasonings that came off of that meat, but we want to leave that in this pot. So just scrape it up a little bit and go ahead and add in all of your veggies. I'm adding in everything. So I had one whole small onion. I had a whole small green pepper. I had about 8 medium-sized mini peppers that I cut up, and then I had 2 stalks of celery that we cut up, and that's what we just added into our Dutch oven. We're not going to cook these very long. We just want to go ahead and allow this to sweat just a little bit before we move on. But just make sure you, as you're moving your veggies around and you're mixing everything up, that you continue to scrape the bottom of your pot to remove some of those bits off the bottom. We want to go ahead and then salt it just a little bit, add a little bit of salt, add a little bit of pepper, and just continue to let these veggies cook and get fragrant. When I tell you this kitchen is smelling amazing right now, it is smelling out of sight. Even if you can't cook, if you saute up some peppers and onions, you're going to have the house smelling good. People are going to think you can cook. I've got my heat on like a medium right now. You just want to make sure that you don't scorch anything. Now we're going to add in about a tablespoon or so of minced garlic. Now if you're not a huge garlic fan, you can add a little less, or if you love garlic like us, you can add a little more. And we're just going to go ahead and mix that garlic in. You don't want it to burn or anything, but just continue to mix it around just to get it fragrant with the rest of the veggies before we add in our tomatoes. All right, we're going to add in both cans of our fire roasted tomatoes, liquid and all. This adds a really nice element and flavor to the braising liquid and to the short ribs. If you can't find the fire roasted tomatoes, any diced tomatoes are fine, but I just love the flavor of these fire roasted tomatoes. And once you have that liquid in there, a lot of that stuff that's on the bottom of your pot is going to come up a lot easier. So just go ahead on and give it a nice little scrape of the bottom of the pot as well once you add that liquid in. I didn't have this in the original ingredient list, but I am going to add a little bit of complete seasoning in here as well. It's got a lot of the different little herbs and stuff in there that I didn't have initially, so I wanted to add those flavors into the pot as well. Alright, we've allowed our mixture to simmer for about 3 or 4 minutes just to come up to a slow boil. Now we're going to go in and add our meat back into the pot. Now when I put it in there, you want to put your meat in kind of like standing up. That way you make sure that you can fit everything in the pot. If you would have laid them down flat, like, it would have been hard to get everything submerged. So you just lay them. If you can see how I got them in here, I got them in here like they're standing up. That way everything fits perfectly into the pot. Again, this is an amazing dish. It's a good variation on a Christmas meal. I don't know if you guys have ever done short ribs or anything like that for Christmas, but I recommend trying it. It's a awesome dish, and it's like I said, it's something a little different. All right, guys, we got our meat all in there. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add in our carrots. Now carrots are optional. I'm probably going to put this over a bed of potatoes, so I just wanted to add, this would be my veggie to go with the potatoes, the starch, and the meat, as well as the peppers and onion that we have in here. So we're just going to go in with some baby carrots, and then once we get the baby carrots in, then we're going to go in and add in our beef stock. Now, all you want to do is put enough beef stock in just to submerge the tops of the meat. You don't want to bury it completely, but just over the top of the meat is where you want to stop with your broth to make sure you have enough braising liquid in there, and that'll be enough to cover you for the time that it's in the oven. I do have the oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're just going to cover it up and plop it in the oven until this meat gets fork tender. All right, guys, we've had these things braising for just over an hour now. As you can see, I do have a couple bay leaves in there. I forgot to put those in there before, but I went back immediately and added my bay leaves. Now I just want to take a spoon or whatever and just to check the meat and see how we're coming along. It's starting to get a little softer, but it's still got a ways to go. Braising, you know, it takes quite a while, so we're going to continue to let these things cook. Smells amazing, and we'll check back with you in another hour or so. See you in a bit, guys. All right, guys, we are back. I actually wound up cooking, braising it another hour and 45 minutes, so it cooked in the oven for about a total of 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead, check it out. Meat is super tender. Look at that, just falls off it ain't no bone, but falls right apart. Looks amazing, smells fantastic. All there's left for us to do now, I'm just going to take a spoon, and I want to take some of this oil off the top. All that fat that rendered from the short ribs, it pulls up at the top, and you don't want to eat that. So you just want to get a spoon and just spoon that out of there. You could use a paper towel as well and just set it on top and soak up some of the oil. But I just find this to be, you know, easier and a little less messy. So all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to continue to get this oil out. Remember to remove your bay leaves. You don't want to eat them or accidentally serve them to a kid or nothing, and they try to chew it up. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to whip up some mashed potatoes real quick. That's what I'm going to serve them with. But again, just look at this. Looks fantastic, y'all. Nice and tender. We've got those peppers and onions and those carrots. It's going to be good. So let me get these potatoes whipped up, let this sit and rest for a little bit. And then when we plate up, I'll bring you guys back in. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. I've got my potatoes all done. Just got a nice bed of potatoes on here. Our braised short ribs are ready. So all I want to do now is just take one of these nice tender short ribs. Stick that right on top of the potatoes. Get a little bit more. Put that in there. Then we're just going to take some of this braising liquid and gravy and veggies. And spoon that right on top. There we go. Look at that. Piping hot. You got the carrots, the tomato, celery, onion, peppers. That's what you want right there, guys. And like I said, this is perfect for Christmas. Let's go in and get a quick taste. All right, here you guys have it. Nice and hot. Let me go ahead and get a bite for you guys. I want you to see how tender this short rib is. Look at that. This falls right apart. You're gonna get a little taste with the potato, the gravy. You already know I'm not trying to burn my lips off and have y'all talk about me on tape. So, that's fantastic, y'all. Man, that's good. I'm telling you, make this for Christmas. Try it out. Do something different this year. You don't always have to do the same old ham, turkey, or whatever the case may be. Try some short ribs this year. That just might be what we do. Then again, we might do fish, who knows. But do something different. Try this recipe out. Let me know what you think about it. Like I said, the only thing I would have changed about it, I would have preferred short ribs with a bone in it. But this is what I have, and I'm not going to go out and spend more money when I have these short ribs in the freezer. But nevertheless, they came out fantastic. They're super tender. The broth is amazing. And paired with some potatoes, rice. You can even put it with pasta and it'll still be amazing. So hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave comments down below. Share the video out if possible. Make sure you do leave some thumbs up. And if you enjoyed the recipe, you guys give it a try. Again, thank you guys for being here. Until the next time, God bless you.